Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Show. Time flies when you are having fun or when Rob is drinking over here in the studios. Either which one.
It's straight coffee, I assure you.
It's coffee, though, isn't it?
It is. It
is. With a little bit of Bailey's in there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure who was going to bring us back, but I had a big gulp of coffee. I'm so glad.
I just saw you looking at me going, Chris, I hope you're going to be speaking on this
yes.
one. We want to hear from you as always. If you're out there, call in, ask us a question, 800-808-5548. We want to hear from you. And one of the things, we have one of our great sponsors with Jason Jimenez Insurance. Jason, how you doing, bud?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. And let me tell you, great staff. I use Jason Jimenez Insurance personally, so I can talk about it and let you know. Incredible staff, incredible people you have over there. And you actually brought a special guest in today, didn't you?
I did. I brought a very good friend of mine. We've known each other about three and a half years or so, and he's just someone that I definitely always want to look out for, and because he does the same for me. So his name is Oscar Hernandez.
Oscar Hernandez. Oscar, how you doing, bud?
Doing well. Great to be here.
Thank you very much. Now, let us know a little bit about who you are and what you do, if you don't mind.
Sure. I'm been a realtor for, I guess, about 11 years. Been with Keller Williams for 8, and I run a small team under the brand Oscar Fine Properties.
Oscar Fine Properties. And one of the things we were talking with D.R. Horton here in the first half is, we always like to iterate this, sort of an open mic day, is, the market's pretty strong right now, isn't it? What are you seeing in regards to the market? What are you seeing in regards to your personal business?
Sure. I mean, explosive, it's managing growth, it's been exciting. Certainly you guys have talked about inventory levels. That's been a challenge. That also drives up prices. You have appraisal issues. So it's an evolving market that's creating new challenges, but we're working through them.
No, I would agree. You mentioned appraisal issues. I think that's one of the things. It's been a common theme we've had over the past.
Very common theme over the last 6 months.
It seems like. In fact, I get quite a few of them. Obviously, being in the lending industry, and one of the things though that we are seeing, and one of the things, in fact, an appraisal company talked to me about the other day is because the builders are now moving up in their prices. And because we're seeing a national sort of elevation in regards to that, one of the things Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae are allowing some of the appraisers to do now is actually take into account the market jump that's just the natural appreciation of properties, which is before, because we didn't have any national data, they weren't allowing us to do so. So we're actually starting to see a little bit better on the appraisal side. They're getting a lot closer. One of the things that you're probably seeing is you have multiple bids on a lot of properties.
Absolutely.
And those multiple bids are probably when you see the most amount of the appraisal issues, because a lot of times, guess what? If you're appraising, if you're selling something that's, 5, 10, percent over, in some of the areas here in Houston, the listing value, appraisal is going to be an issue. How do you address that in a contract? How do you prepare your buyer for that?
On both sides, I have that discussion with sellers and buyers up front. So on the seller side, let me address that first. If someone's trying to get top dollar for their property and we know there's going to be a lot of interest, we can pretty much assume that we may come in above asking. So we're looking at the comps up front and we're preparing, I guess, the basis for establishing that contract price. And we put together an appraisal package. We leave it there at the property for the appraiser to look at and reference.
Very smart.
And they understand why we priced it where we did, what the scenario was. We had X number of showings, X number of offers. Here's a list of the improvements that the owner made to the property over the last, several years. And so we're kind of creating that argument, to support the price.
That's a very smart practice. I've coached a lot of agents. Leave that there. Now, lenders like Chris, they can't have the conversation with the appraisers anymore since Dodd-Frank. In 2010, it's all changed. But
Correct.
realtors can. And what happens is you get an appraiser comes from out of town, they don't understand some of the nuances of a community. Like Oak Forest is a prime example. I know you sell over in Oak Forest. Yeah. And, you can cross the street and make a huge difference in the valuation.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know that, but the realtor does, and they can communicate that.
Are you finding that a lot of folks you work with, I'm always curious about this, every show the guys know it ends up coming up, my wife is looking to get me to move. I don't want to move. I hate moving. Are you finding that folks are looking more new, or are they looking more resale? What's kind of the trend for you?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag depending on the area. Inside the loop, there's a lot of resale but we also have clients that are looking at new construction. Some buyers are getting frustrated with the multiple offers, and they're finding it a lot easier to go to a home builder and pay, a very fair
see, Karen's over there
list
smiling.
price.
Yeah, they're coming to us.
Yeah. and they also, absolutely. And they're also finding that in that process, working with the builder, they can customize and get exactly what they're looking for versus the resale. They have to make, some exceptions or plan on making changes, before or after they move into the property.
Do you get into talking much about, remodels, updating a home, that type of thing, when they're looking at moving into a house? Does that come up very often?
Sure. One of the jobs that I think of a good realtor is to have resources available for their clients. And so oftentimes we're looking at an older property that may need to have hardwoods refinished or update a bath, those types of issues. And so that's one of the things that we do during the option period so that they're comfortable with the investment that they're going to have to make into the property and that their total investment is still supported by the market values.
Oscar, you seen anyone who wants to do like major remodeling, or do you think most of them are just looking for paint, carpet, hardwoods, or something like that when they're looking for a house?
Well, for move-up buyers, I think they're wanting to do more cosmetic type stuff because they've got a time frame where maybe they have a 30-day or maybe a 60-day leaseback on their home, but they don't want to get into anything extensive. And with a tight market inventory, they're looking for something more immediate. But there are some buyers. I've got friends in the Heights who will probably put their home on the market if they can find that next good project in one of the surrounding neighborhoods just outside the loop.
So they're basically doing extensive remodeling, living in it for a while, and then selling it, and then starting a new project?
Yeah.
I know we've got a call on the line, and we want to take the call right quick so we can see what our listeners have in mind.
Yes, we do. We have Diane. Diane, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good, and you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for calling in the show today.
I'm sorry?
I said thanks for calling in today. What's your question you have for the group?
Well, I wanted to ask because I'm looking for a new home, for a new construction, but what's something else I should look for in the company other than the house?
Okay, so and our builders were scrambling to get headphones on so they could hear the question there. Basically, a lot of different builders out there, and Diane is asking what should she look for in a house other than just I like the way it looks. Is there any guidance you guys can give her expertise on that side?
I definitely think looking at the stability of the company that you're looking for, if you're looking to go the new route, is very important because you definitely want your company, the company that you purchase from, to be around to take care of your warranty needs. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of buying a new home. You get a new home warranty, and it's definitely kind of like a protection plan for you as a homeowner.
So stability for the company is a big factor.
Right, warranty, also one-stop shop convenience. Not only is D.R. Horton committed building the home, but we also have our own title company, mortgage company, insurance company. So it's just a one-stop process as well. Of course, location, lifestyle, what works for them, easy access to major thoroughfares, how it, works into their life.
And I would think reputation would be a huge piece,
Very
too.
much so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, and that's the one great thing. There's a lot of great builders, and we never combat our competition because competition is good for everyone. But of course, financial stability. Not only are we going to be here today, but for many years to come, and that's important.
And one of the biggest things I hear about builders is that they'll close on the house and you never see them
Exactly.
again. And there's always that little punch list that didn't quite get finished. You went ahead and closed. That's the question I'd always ask. It's like, where are you going to be after I close?
Exactly.
And so,
also,
that's interesting. Yeah.
Always pay attention to the communities you're looking in. Is there a lot of activity going on? Are there a lot of sold signs, a lot of homes being built? That, to me, shows proof that people want to live in that community. If you're the only home that's built out there and a bunch of vacant home sites, I wouldn't purchase there.
Interesting. Oscar, how about you? Do you have any insight for Diana?
Sure. Well, one thing that I was going to add to the builder question there is, some builders are willing to work with you more than others. Some are very rigid. This is what we offer. We don't go beyond the scope of this. And others are willing to work with you and make some modifications and add some different things that customize your home to truly be that dream home.
And what I also recommend, and agree or disagree, have somebody representing you in that transaction. Somebody like Oscar who knows the builders, who knows how to get you through the process, because it is a process.
Oh, I would absolutely agree. And, and coming from somebody in myself who has bought 7 homes, and all of them have been from new builders, by the way, I can actually tell you that, I've evaluated and gone through and seen, and everything we're talking about right now is absolutely true. You have to find builders who are reputable, who have a good financial history in town. And I'll tell you, my worst experience, and I won't say who the builder is, was actually a custom home that I bought. The worst one, because they disappeared after the fact. I've always told everybody it's not about what happens when you're buying it, it's what happens after you buy, because once you live in it, things change. But the other factor that always impacted me, probably one of the most, is buy from people you like. If you buy from the people, somebody like Dustin, who you like, who you enjoy working with, who's there from the process, who gets to know you and your family, it makes it a lot easier and a lot cleaner sale, and something that you enjoy going forward, because I'm a big believer in karma, and karma comes around whenever you enjoy what you're doing.
Yes, and the great thing is, at D.R. Horton, we are over 85% realtor participation, and that's the one thing. Donnie Ray Horton, he built his business based upon that partnership. And I have one question for you, Chris. Are you in the market for a new home?
Let me tell you, I am always in the market for a new home.
Well, and that's one thing I'm talking about, having a realtor involved. Of course, I was a custom home builder back in the 80s. I built in Sweetwater, and I worked with a lot of realtors, and someone like Oscar, who's out there working with it, it really does help when the realtor knows, who's good, who's got a great reputation, to be able to counsel their buyers and things like that.
We're already coming up on a break.
Again
coming up on a break.
Just to check in with you, Diana, did you get some good pointers there?
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
Excellent. So we appreciate you calling in. We have a great crew here to answer those questions, and we're always available to answer them. We're glad you called.
Thank you very much, Diane.
800-808-5548. That's 800-808-5548. We'll be right back after this commercial break. We know we've got another caller on the line, so caller, as soon as we come back, we're going to jump on and answer your question.
And please come out and see us, Diane.
I won't dance, madame, with you. My heart won't let my feet do things that they should do. You know what?